Okay, so we're back with the building diagonally in Minecraft tutorial series. I guess I finally decided on what the name will be. Still have the background noise of AC, dog panting, fan running, all that kind of stuff. I've done a small amount of off-camera work. In this part we're going to cover roofs. We're going to add the roof, and I have a bunch of stuff here I don't understand what I was trying to say. Usually when you see the diagonal type roofs, what you find is they use a bunch of slabs and they make this kind of diagonal roof kind of pattern, and I don't know how to describe what it looks like, but I'll try to show a little glimpse of it. So that's all I've done off camera. I've been playing with my roof, trying to figure out how I want to do it. So when you're doing a diagonal roof, typically what you'll see them doing is something along like this. And this will just go all the way across the roof. With the method that you're learning here about building diagonally, you can do the roofs in chunking. You can do it like a normal roof. But I've made a bit of a mistake, and I'm not sure I like this red here anyway. So if I lower the sides down one, then this whole structure will drape onto my roof supports, and I'm thinking that's what I want to do. So what we'll have here is, first we're going to remove a block from each side. And if you've done something different, then you may not have to do this. If you're following along with what I've done, then you'll have to change. So it's pretty simple. I could use a replace command, but we'll keep the world edit down to a bare dull roar. And I think I like this better in some ways, but it might mean I have to change where I've placed the clay starting area at. Unless I don't want to be in alignment, I don't know yet. And then we've got to do the same thing over here. And there are commands in World Edit like mirroring and all of that stuff. I'm sure I could mirror the roof over to the other side quickly, but I guess I just prefer to take my time and plunk it around. I don't know. Sometimes the tedious things become kind of like a meditation to me. So we're all ready to go. We just need to lower my little roof design that I've created here. So what do we got? We've got a stairwell and two angled slabs. And I could have miscalculated something, so this may not come out right. I don't know yet. I'll know in a minute. Alright, then another stairwell, and then one block. Now a smart guy would actually put all the blocks he's using all in a line, but I guess I'm not that smart. I have it set up to scroll with the mouse wheel, so that's how I operate things. Now, the problem that I have with this is my spine for my roof is going to have this 2-block high thing going on. Actually, it'd be worse because it'd be more like this. There are a couple of things I can do. I can raise the middle one if I want to. I don't know if I'd like the looks of it raised. I think that it's starting to look a little strange right now, personally. I could try a slightly different pattern. Let's play around a little bit until I'm happy. Now this would work if we were doing a shorter roof. We'll have to move everything in if we did this. Let's give it a look. Sometimes you just have to spend the time playing with stuff till you have it figured out where you want things to be. Is it just me, or do these roof blocks look like chocolate bars? Alright. Planks. That's what they are. Now this raises another issue that I'm not sure I'm happy with. And I'll show in a minute what I'm talking about. Oh, and this still isn't right. Huh. I mean, yeah, it could work as a roof. I don't see any reason why not, but I don't like it. The reason why I was working off camera was because I was trying to work all of this out, because I didn't want to make the video super long while I tried to figure out what I wanted to do, and I might have to cancel this take and go again, I guess. I don't know. We shall see. Then I just have to ask myself, do I want to raise this spine up, or do I want to have this 3-block tall peak everywhere? Because that's going to look a little weird if the spine is sticking out. If it was up at this level, you would see it sticking out of everything. It wouldn't look quite right. Could change the block type, of course. So I'll have to argue with myself, but for now let's make this our roof design. So 2 blocks, 1, 2 stairs, 2 slabs. I could go out a distance. You see that describes a nice curve. The height seems to be right. It looks and feels right. You kind of got to tune into your artistic aesthetic sense here to try to figure out where things are. I might just decide to change all the supports to the black oak, because then I could increase the spine height and it wouldn't look weird. I'm not going to do it yet. We're just going to get on this roof and get it built. I don't want to wander around too long here. So, you know the process, and we're going to edge it with stone and replace these blocks a little later, but right now we're just going to lay it out the way it is. Let's see if I can do this quicker. Excuse me, by the way. Apparently not. Notice how when we come where the roof cuts off, we just, for the outside at least, we don't blend it. You can change this as you wish. There is no wrong way to do anything. Okay. Well, that's not entirely true. If you're using a bright, oh, I don't know, purple color and trying to mix it with orange and green, I don't know that you'd like the result. You do have to have some good color sense. And then once we get the video done, once we get the roof done on this side, we're going to do the other side. And I'm not doing any fast forward techniques, you know, come back and it's all done. Nah. Now here we have a bit of a problem and trying to figure out how to lay these out. And I haven't decided if I want to blend them yet. But I think if we just stick a block behind and we can just lay up the next set and just delete the block. I might blend the stairs, I might not. I haven't totally decided. See how things look when we get done. It's really slow and kind of laggy. I don't know what's going on with that. Was running fine earlier today. I'm afraid this video is going to be a little longer because of all the processes. If I was smart and I did a world edit mirroring copy paste thing, you know, it'd be a lot quicker, but maybe you don't have world edit. I don't know. See that we're running across another issue, and we'll work it out here in a minute. This is how we learn. We try different things and we see what works and we look at what doesn't work. And I can tell you right now, I absolutely loathe having a 3-block high spine for this house. I don't think there's anything I would hate more. It seems like it's over-designed and way too much. But we're going to stick with it for now. So we've got these gaps. I'm thinking what we have to do here is bring these over, but that doesn't quite make sense. Apologize for the dog whining. This gives us this gives us 4. Remember that we have a 5 down here. So something here isn't quite as it should be. Excuse me, I've got the stupid weather again going. I think that is correct. It doesn't look correct, but I think it is correct. We've got these holes we've got to address too at some point. Okay, so I can't pause the video. OBS doesn't appear to have a pause function, or I don't know how to use it. Or I'd pause and just come back and bam, it would be done. Now it's going to get tricky because here for this middle part, we don't need these two on the end. You've got to, yeah, this is the middle, and then we've got to go back one. Remember, we've got it off by one. We've got to match our patterns. So our next one will have to come here to be one out, I believe. And I think if we start on this side, almost like I know what I'm doing, isn't it? Alright. And oh yeah. Gotta make sure this matches, so this will stick out one more. This is where it needs to be, and these will come in one. Yeah. Okay, so we've got stairs next, right? 2 flights. Let's make it a little easier on myself. Sometimes it's really hard to just get the character to stop moving around so that you can set up where you want to be. When you're designing your roofs, you are definitely going to want to kind of figure out the pattern that you want your roof to have before you sit down and build it. This applies not only to diagonal building, but any kind of building. It's just to your betterment to kind of sketch out the outline of the plan, but it comes really in handy if you're doing a round or conical type but tower roof. So we only have to go to this oak wood here, and then the last part, and we're ready to move along. I do not know why the dog is whining, but my guess is it has to do with she usually gets dry food at this time. But she was throwing up today, so she's on a starvation diet for a little bit till her stomach settles. And it's not my dog, for the record. It's my parents' dog. I could care less about the thing. I'm not a dog person. I mean, no offense to people that are dog people. But for me, dogs just seem annoying. Like, they require a lot more care than I really want to give, you know? I prefer cats. I don't have to try to take care of a cat. I can just put some food out and it'll take care of itself 9 times out of 10. Okay, so we're checking to see that we've got all of our patterns matched. I'm not sure that this is correct here. It's throwing me off and I can't determine it. Yeah, it's not correct. You get a sense for these things. You can kind of see the flaw sometimes. And you can see what I meant when I was telling you that it was like somebody had cut the roof, you know. This is interesting here. I suppose we have to do an S shape. The problem coming on in here is that we have this chunk here. I think this is actually too big, but it's supposed to be a chunk of 4, I believe. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, no, it's 5. So it's a chunk of 5, so it should have a chunk of 5 going all the way up, all the way to the top. But when I get here, that's not what we've got. My 5 for the next thing starts here. So that's a little confusing, and I'm not sure why that's that way. It is correct, but it's not, doesn't look right or feel right, but I don't know what to do to correct that. That'll have to be addressed later. So we've got the roof on. We're going to go ahead and do some trimming on the roof. I think I'll stop the video here so it doesn't go on too long. I'm going to add some cobblestone along the edges, and I'm going to fill in the holes with this stuff. And I'm also going to do, I guess I should show some of this to you. I'm also going to do a kind of my own front design that I like to do. But let's first, before I stop it here, let's fill this in here in front. Get that done. I gotta figure out. So let's do that on both ends. I don't know if I like the red color, but I think I do. And if you were to ask me what style of house we're building, I would look at you with a blank expression, because I have absolutely no clue what style this is. I'll call it Dream Bliss style. Or maybe I'll be funny and call it Gundam style. What do you think? Alright, so I've got a couple of choices here. One thing I could do is I could put the spine on the very top. That could be kind of an interesting effect. It'll make it a lot taller than I'd want it to be. And I still don't know what I would do with the spaces in the middle. So I'm going to have to think on that, but let's do some trimming here, at least on one side, so you can kind of see how that works, see what I do. You can, of course, adapt it however you like. We won't spend too much time on it. So when you're doing the edge, you don't have to do this, but a lot of people do. And I just seem to drift towards cobblestone when this has to be done because it just looks better. But that gets kind of repetitive, and it's also a different look. I mean, if you're trying to do modern or something, you wouldn't want to use cobblestone on your roof. Of course, you wouldn't have a roof that's peaked like this either, but in any case, this is what we'll use here, even though it makes it more rustic kind of a feel. It just seems to work better. And then what I will do is I will go underneath this and I will add some stairs upside down. You've seen this a million times. But I do it a bit differently than other people, although I can't this time because my support got in the way. So what I want to do is remove that support so I can do what I want to do. I do this kind of effect, which in this particular case failed miserably. So I'll either end the roof here or just leave it like that, but I don't know if I like this kind of spacing here. I could replace that with a block. I don't like using the full block except for up above where I'm getting the height, but it does fit my slope here. Ah, yes, 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 yes. I'm a happy camper. This will work for me, even though it looks kind of weird. You may not like it, but this is how I like to do it. Oh, not like that. There we go. Although this is now too, no, I don't think I will do that. I might consider a cobblestone. We'll see. Seems too thick. I think I'll leave it like this time, but normally I do one more upside down. Here in the front, probably remove that block and do a couple of things here. And of course, you can do this or not do this based on your particular preference, I guess. Looks kind of like a duck, if you ask me. And since we have so much excess blocks, maybe remove these. Maybe. And then maybe remove these. And we could create some kind of a spine coming down off of this. What would be a good way to do it? Let me see. I don't know if I'd like this, but let's give it a try. And we'll call that, I think, the end of the operation. And you can adapt and change as you wish, of course. You may not agree with my design choices. I'll do the other end later. What we're trying to do is, you've seen how people have these, the way the roofs curve towards the end. And I'm trying to emulate that a little bit and seeing what I like or don't like. Personally, I think this here is not a good transition. And it's kind of a no-no to use a full block here. That don't look very good at all. Sometimes you just gotta play around till you find what you like. Next question, if I want my nose, I like that transition, that's why I was doing it that way. If you stick it up here, it looks kind of weird. Were you to ask me, and I would say yes, that looks kind of weird. And if you do a couple, like if you did this, it looks even weirder. But let's take a peek at it and see if it fits. At some point there'll be an aha moment and I'll be like, ah, that looks good, and I'll be happy with it. Okay. But that looks kind of weird if you ask me. I don't know. That could work. It's not much of a curve if you go at a distance. it doesn't really have, there should be a higher height at some point. This should be low, and then there should be a transition. Anyway, this is how you'll do it. Figure out if there's a curve that you like, or if you want to do that or not. That'll use up some of this extra spine. Finish off the trim around the edges. And I want to keep playing with this. I'll do a little bit off camera work just getting my roof trimmed out, but this gets the roof on. Then I guess we'll do, since this video has gone so long, in the next part we'll go inside and we'll start figuring out how we're going to put all of this together here. And we're going to need some lights. Before I quit, let's put some lights in so we're ready to see what we're going to do on the next video. Okay. Alright, we'll call that good, and I'll see you in the next video.